Hello again and welcome back to the PhatPhish Guitar Studio. I'm Dave, and in this video I want to talk a bit about, well, where did your guitar, where did your music gear in general, where did it come from? Did you buy it in a bricks and mortar store or did you buy it online? This is something I was thinking a bit about recently because we are seeing a real decline in just the existence of bricks and mortar stores as everybody moves much more towards buying online. You know, that's been a thing for a long time, but certainly in the last 3 years or so it's really normalised the idea of just going online and buying gear. And certainly it's very accessible, but really it's at the expense of bricks and mortar stores, and that is I think is a bad thing. This applies, what I'm going to talk about is mostly about new gear, but I think to a degree it applies to used and like pre-loved guitars and whatnot as well. Now I'm fairly old school. I like the idea of going and trying a guitar in a shop before I buy it, and a lot of my guitars are like that. Some they're like custom orders, you know, like my Williams, like that one there, like the custom shop Strat. Those are ones that were built for me, but I was able to work with, you know, the luthier ahead of time, trying different things, so I knew what I was getting, or going to a guitar store, playing lots of different custom shop Strats, understanding the specs, and then working with the dealer to work up the spec for the custom shop Strat. So other guitars I've just bought regularly from guitar stores, or in cases like some used ones I've bought from a dealer. That, you know, they weren't blind purchases. I did try them out in advance. I do have guitars I just bought online, but generally that's been through necessity, you know, lockdown purchases. There was a couple of guitars I got. It was just the only way to acquire them, because I needed them wanted them for a particular project. They were bought online, and I felt a little bit bad about it. There was another one I bought online because it was a bit of a quirky model. Nobody really had it in bricks and mortar store. There was just one online retailer, so I bought it from there. So I don't want to come over like a complete hypocrite. Yes, there are times I've bought guitars online, but that's generally been through necessity rather than through choice. And I understand that for some people you don't have a local music store, so online's the only option. But I think that's a small subset of the guitar buying public. So for the people who, you know, you have the ability to go to guitar stores, you know, you need to patronise them, you need to use them, otherwise they're just not going to be around anymore. Like, I think there's some great guitar stores I've been to in the past. You know, they've just stopped trading. Anybody watching this from Edinburgh, do you remember Red Dog Music? I think they were down near the Grass Market, I think. Wonderful store, super friendly, great range of stuff. You know, they just went bust. The chain of music room stores recently wrapped up trading. I think the one on Denmark Street is still active, but all of the other ones, again, I think there was one in Edinburgh that will have wrapped up now. Banks's Music in York I used to go to quite a lot. That shut. Bar one of the music room stores are now shut because they're just not getting the trade. It's not economically viable to be in the high street. And why aren't people buying from guitar stores? Sometimes it's the convenience, but a lot of the time it comes down to price. You know, people will look online and they'll say, oh, well, it costs, for argument's sake, £450 for a guitar online. Whatever. Then they'll go to a local music store, and that store might want £475, maybe £500 for it. So, well, why should I buy it from the store when it's cheaper? This is a £450 guitar. Why do you want £475 or £500 for it? And it's because the store isn't just selling you the guitar. You're getting the service, the ability to go in, try it. If it isn't quite right for you, there's going to be store assistants that'll be able to guide you and say, well, if you find that the neck's a little bit thick on this, try such and such. That's pretty much the same guitar, but it's a different neck profile, and they can give you advice which you just don't get on an online store. It's kind of, you know, take it or leave it. And if you're the sort of person who says, well, what I can do is I can go to that bricks and mortar store and I can try that £500 guitar, take all of their advice, I know what I'm getting, and then go and buy it online for 450 or, you know, for less, you are abusing music stores. Music stores are not there to provide a service for you to window shop so you can then go and buy online. You're taking up assistants' time, you're eating up resources that they can't, in this day and age, they can't afford. If you think how much it costs for an hour of, or half an hour of sales assistant's time to faff around looking after you in the store for you then just to go off and buy something online, that is not, for the music stores, that's not sustainable. So you really need to, guitar players, I think, just need to get out of the mindset of the guitar costs X pounds and it costs Y pounds in the music store, therefore the music store is ripping me off. No, they are providing a service, and that music store is going to be able to give you something beyond just the purchase of the guitar. A lot of shops now, once you bought a guitar from them, you can take it back and they will help you to look after it. They'll do setups, and you can build a relationship with the guitar store, which is really, really helpful. It's not just about what's the bottom line pounds and pence cost to get that guitar into my hands. And seriously, don't abuse guitar stores by just using them as a means of a place you can go and try guitars out before you buy them online. I realise if you're on an absolute budget, if you're strapped down to the last pound or penny, maybe you don't have the luxury of spending a little bit more to buy something in a music shop. But that's not everybody. If you have to go for the lowest bottom line price because that's all you can afford, okay, fair dues, but there's still ways to support your local music store and give them something back. Strings, picks, all those little consumables, you don't have to buy those online. The difference in price between buying a pack of Super Slinkies online versus buying them in the local music store, it's not a huge difference. If everybody watching this video just thinks, right, my next set of strings or my next packet of picks, I'm going to go and buy those over the counter at the music store rather than just buying them from Amazon or something like that, then that helps the local music store. I don't travel around as much as I used to, but I still travel and I still go to new towns, and I make a point of, if I'm in a town, I'll seek out the local music shop and just have a look around. Obviously, I'm not going to go and buy a guitar every time I go somewhere, but I'll have a shufty, see what the shop's like, maybe have a bit of a discussion with the people who run it, and I'll buy a couple of sets of strings. I probably don't need those strings, but they can sit on the shelf over there until I do need them. I've been able to support a local music store in some way. Music stores, like anybody on the high street, are really struggling, so we need to give them our support. Otherwise, they aren't going to be around. When you want to make that online purchase, so you want to think, I'll just go to the music store to try out a guitar before I buy it online. Yeah, you're still, but you're not going to be able to do that anymore because the music store's not going to be there. You've driven them out of business by wasting the time. And the music store experience is, I find it's fun. It's one thing just sitting at your computer screen looking at guitars and saying, oh yeah, that's the one I'm after. But being able to go into a guitar shop and compare different ones, sometimes you'll spot something that it would never have been on your radar. For example, another music store that I'm a huge fan of is RWB Music down in York. Slightly quirky little store. It's half vape store, half guitar shop. Bit weird. Really friendly guy runs it, and he gets some interesting guitars and lots of interesting, like, pre-loved stuff. And he's got, with time I'm recording this, he's got about 3 really interesting hand-built guitars. I think it's a local luthier. So it was never on my radar. I never would have seen those guitars if I hadn't gone into the shop and experienced them in person. So there's always going to be something that it's not on your radar, so you're probably not going to find it by looking online, but going into a guitar store and seeing the stuff hanging up on the wall, things will present themselves. And whether that's you're shopping for new guitars or you're going to a second-hand shop, someone who's selling pre-loved guitars, you'll find quirky things that might not have occurred to you, but you like them and you get on with them, and you think, yeah, this is a guitar for me. So yeah, the in-person bricks and mortar shopping experience is a different thing to the online shopping experience. It's better, and I think it's worth paying that little bit of a premium for. The thing that you buy has a bit of an upcharge because you're covering somebody's rent, you're covering wages for staff and all of the heating and lighting and all of that jazz. I appreciate in this day and age the guitar buying public is as financially stretched as everybody else. Whether you're buying luxuries like guitars, or just necessities like putting food on the table, or paying your energy bill. We have to be cost conscious, but bear in mind, guitar store, that's a business, it's people's livelihoods, so keeping them in is part of the high street, I think, is really important, rather than just letting them just fizzle out and go the way of the dodo. Okay, so just a really quick opinion piece there. Hopefully that's inspired you to go and visit your local music store. And like I say, even if you don't come away buying guitars, we can't always afford to just go buy guitars left, right and centre, but buy some strings, buy some picks or whatever. Personally, I'd like it if you come and buy some PhatPhish picks like this, but you don't have to. Just go and patronise your local music store and give them some support. Thanks very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please click like down there. If you really enjoyed it and you want to see other videos that I post onto the channel, then please click subscribe, which is also down there, and click the bell icon down there as well, so you get notified of any new videos that I load up onto the channel. You're welcome to leave a comment, but I don't get notified by YouTube when anybody leaves a comment on a video, so if there's something specific you want to ask me, whether it's about guitars, guitar playing, music theory, anything at all, you're better off going here. Fill that form in, that way the question comes direct to me and I can get around to answering it in a future video. Okay, that's all for now. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.